Hey guys, Chuke here with Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Wanted to do a video to dispel a myth. You know, I recently got my Punisher gun. I put it together. I just got these aluminum Hogue grips for my P220. It's, you know, my police trade-in 45. And I love Punisher guns. Now, I don't like these grips as much as the cheap polymer Punisher grips I had for 1911 with the big white skull, but these are actually higher quality grips and they feel better, so they are a nicer grip, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, this is a classic Punisher gun. This gun is safe with the grips, and I think it's something like Frank Castle might have carried, because he wouldn't have carried a 9mm. You know, he had to have carried a 45, maybe a 40, but Punisher was definitely carrying a 45, not a 9mm. So anyways, I really like the look of this gun. It's a great Punisher gun. I was showing it off, and the first thing Chuck from Alaska Ballistics said, "Oh, you can't carry that. You know, you shoot somebody in court, you're just gonna get in big trouble, and you know the jury's gonna hang you, blah blah blah." And he referred to the Munitions Law Group video where they said it's a bad idea to carry a gun with a Punisher logo on it, and that's just a bunch of BS. I got to call BS on that for a bunch of reasons, but I'll tell you right off the bat, one of the main reasons is I consulted with one of my buddies from high school who now works for our local district attorney. He actually is one of the people that come in to concealed carry classes when they want to talk about the legal stuff. All right, he's a lawyer. He comes in and briefs the people taking the class on legal stuff. And he laughed along with me when I told him that. And he said, "No, there's no precedent for it. There's no cases. You're not going to get in trouble if you shoot somebody in self-defense because you have a Punisher logo on your gun." So right there, and you can say, "Oh, Chuke, you're full of it. You don't know anybody like that." But I've been carrying this all week. But a lot of common sense goes into it. Obviously, you got to know the laws. You don't want to just shoot somebody. I mean, if it's going to be questionable where you actually have to go to a jury, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. When that schizophrenic woman was breaking in my car window, I could have pulled out my gun and shot her, but I'm not going to do that. She wasn't a threat to me. She was just crazy. She didn't have any weapons. I should have maced her, like Chuck said. I didn't have any mace on me. But that's a situation where I wasn't even going to pull my sidearm. But some other idiot that might have been like, "Oh, she's destroying my property." And I've met people like that. "Oh, if they destroy your property, can you kill them?" Like pulled out their Punisher gun and, you know, shot her 10 times. They might get in trouble, and they might mention the Punisher gun, but it's mainly about what they did. So you got to be smart. Don't just shoot people. I'm only going to use this if somebody's threatening me and my family with a weapon. You know, it depends on the situation. But anyways, there's been no cases where the jury was like, "Oh, he had a Punisher skull on his gun," and then some guy got convicted in a self-defense case. I don't know where they're coming up with this, but total garbage. Get a Punisher grip if you want one on your carry weapon and carry it every day. Now, it's kind of cheesy, but some people make fun of the Punisher skull. We'll talk about that at the end, but you know, I've been a Marvel Comics fan since Punisher first came out. I think in a Daredevil comic, then his own miniseries, and then Punisher comic, Punisher War Journal. Anyways, I had all the first issues. I collected Punisher comics. I'm a big Punisher fan. And this is different than carving Punisher on some wooden grips or carving a skull like some psycho might do. No, I went and purchased some Punisher grips that came for this gun and put it on there. That's another difference. So it's just a bunch of BS. If you like the Punisher, go ahead and get some Punisher grips. Don't listen to those people it's paranoia. Paranoia will destroy you. It's those paranoid people that are like, "Oh, don't put a Punisher skull on your gun." You know, there was that one police officer that said "you're effed" or something on his cover plate of his AR, but that's because he killed somebody, and that wasn't a Punisher skull. So people like to refer to that too. I also want to talk about how some people have been dogging on people who have Punisher skulls, or the or the Spartan helmet. An example would be Task and Purpose, which they've got some good stuff, but they definitely have some writers that are leaning way to the left, very liberal, and they'll deny it. They'll deny it, but they keep reposting and reposting this article on social media that they wrote about, oh, you fat tactical guys with your Punisher skulls and your Spartan helmets, and just laying into them, saying how the Spartans weren't even that good warriors and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it's not about that. And tons of people responded to that, calling them on their leftist BS and saying that, you know, it's about the brotherhood, it's about, you know, the spirit of the warrior and all that stuff. And I think it's great that people are into that, you know. And it was also disappointing to hear one of the creators, or the creator of the Punisher comics, wrote this article a few weeks ago where he was very disappointed that law enforcement and military personnel loved the Punisher skull, and he's just obviously in real life, I think he's anti-gun, because just the tone of what he was saying. I think it's great that a cop or somebody in the military would want the Punisher skull, because the Punisher stands for dealing punishment to the bad guys, against corruption, against you know, gangsters and mafia and that kind of stuff, organized crime. The Punisher punishes corruption, and for that guy to get all mad about these people using the Punisher skull, I think is ridiculous, and it just kind of sickens me. So get yourself a Punisher skull. I got the Punisher, and it's kind of cheesy, you know. People keep dogging on the tactical people with their Punisher multicam hats, but you know, I wore this patch today just for this video, and I'm proud to carry my Punisher gun with Punisher grips, and don't let it stop you. Have fun. It's a great hobby. You want to accessorize your firearms with Punisher skulls, go ahead and do it. Don't listen to those naysayers like Chuck. Thanks, guys. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
No!